few props tonight, just depending on how you're feeling. But to start tonight's practice, we'll begin in an Ujjayi meditation. But first, let's just come to our space. Let's just come to our breath. Rubbing the palms together. Bringing them into heart center, sitting up nice and tall, just beginning to open up the throat and the heart. Let's collectively take 3 full cycles of breath. So full inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Full inhale in. Exhale out. One more full inhale in. And exhale out. You can leave your palms in the heart center or allow them to rest into your lap. And slowly just take some full cycles of breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe begin just taking your focus to the tip of the nose, feeling the air come in and out. And then take a full inhale in. Constrict the back of the throat and exhale out so it'll make an audible noise. Inhale in. Constrict the back of the throat. Exhale out. And you can make your cycle of breath as long or as deep as you would like. Just keep that audible noise. Staying here for the next 5 minutes. And if you want a little mantra to guide you, as you inhale, imagine you're saying I. And as you exhale, or in Sanskrit, so on the inhale and hum on the exhale. You're nearing the halfway point of this meditation. Keep the audible, the ujjayi breath, but see if you can take up space. So as you inhale, maybe expanding the rib cage out. And as you exhale, see if you can grow a little taller. You're nearing in the last 30 seconds. Take your final cycle of breath here. And you can keep the ujjayi breath with you throughout your practice, or you can release it at any point or call it back. Next, I want you to come long in a staff pose, so extend the legs long, the heels up. If you want the legs can come out at hips distance, but if you want to take your legs a little bit wide, you can as well. All right, have the toes point up and try to get your second toe in line with the knee. We'll be coming into a caterpillar pose, a nice seated forward fold. So if you want to use your strap at the bottom of your feet, you can. If you need a bolster, you may. So I think for tonight, I'm going to do a strap. I feel like changing it up. But no matter what you choose, try to keep the second toe in line with the knees. All right, we'll suss any love that we have behind us. Sit up nice and tall. Create our nice straight spine. And then slowly start leaning forward. Try to keep the chin in so we're not jutting the chin forward. Leaning forward, finding the sweet spot where you can fold. Coming into this caterpillar pose for the next 5 minutes. Take the next 10 seconds to suss around, find what you need. And then we'll come into a state of stillness. Nearing in on a halfway point. Maybe give yourself a nice gentle body scan. Notice if you're clenching or tightening. And then if you would like to, see if the next exhale can allow you to hold a little deeper. Knowing that you're on the back half of this pose. Okay, you're nearing in the last 30 seconds. Taking your final cycle of breath. Use your next inhale to slowly bring yourself up. Beautiful. Okay, next one is going to be half saddle. So bringing the left heel towards the left glute, best as can be. Or anywhere in between. So you get this nice external rotation going on in the hip. And the right leg is forward. Now I will let the yogi choose their path. If you feel like you need to do more hamstring low back work, you'll come into a fold. If you want a little more quad and psoas work, you'll come reclining back. Okay. Or if you're good right here, you can stay right here. We'll be here for just 3 minutes. So when you're ready, I'm folding forward. I'll have you come up nice and tall. If you're reclining back, go ahead, place your elbows and forearms down and lean back, keeping the right heel planted. And then folding forward, keep the sit bones planted. And just frame the right leg or use a strap. All right, give yourself the next 5 seconds to suss around. And let's find stillness for the next 3 minutes. All right, we're entering the last minute. All right, take your final cycle of breath. If you recline, slowly start propping yourself up. You folded forward, bring yourself up high. And this time we'll place both feet flat on the mat. They can be as wide as the mat or as wide as your hips. And windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Just nice to cool down the external rotation of the left leg. And then also just address the work you've done on the right side. And then switching sides, send the left leg long as you bring the right heel to glute. Same thing here, yogi's choice. If you reclined on one side, I recommend you keep the recline. And if you folded, keep the fold. So set yourself up. Come up nice and tall. If you're reclining, slowly set your elbows and hands back. If you're folding, slowly start reaching the nose for the left foot. Suss around for about 5 seconds, finding the spots where you can be still now. You're entering the last 30 seconds. Take your last cycle of breath. Use your inhale to guide you up. And then bring both feet flat once again. Windshield wiping the legs from side to side. And then coming into stillness, allow the knees then to fall over to one side so you can come into a tabletop pose. And then taking the big toes together, knees come wide, settle down into child. Placing the palms onto the ground. Forehead is onto the mat. And we'll be here for about 10 big cycles of breath. And then take a nice full cycle of breath. Slowly come back into your tabletop pose, tuck under the toes, and come into downward dog. With this downward dog, take your feet as wide as the mat, plant your hands, send the hips up high to the sky. With your right hand planted, don't lift your right hand. Imagine that you're opening a jar clockwise. Left hand is planted, it doesn't move. Imagine that you're opening a jar counterclockwise. That'll help move the scapulas down and away from the ears. And then taking another full 10 cycles of breath here. Here's the fun thing about downward dog. It's a fun way to, when you exhale, really exhaling out through the mouth. So if you want to do your 10 exhales that way, you can. Let's go. Halfway through, stay strong. Take a nice full cycle of breath. Exhale. And then slowly walk your feet to the back of your hands here. And they can stay wide, bending the knees. You'll stay in this forward fold. But while you're here, let's make this a little active. So come out to the heels, lift and spread the toes, send the pinky toe, the fourth, the third, the second, and the big toe down. Drop the head. Forward fold or dangle pose. You can grab a hold of opposite elbows. Focusing on the breath. Allow the head to hang. You're here just for 30 more seconds. So if you want, you can try to straighten the legs a little bit or keep bending. And then taking your last cycle of breath, place your hands down. Take your feet about hips distance apart. Take the toes out. Drop the bum, coming into garland or malasana. Carefully. So if you want to keep your hands down and looking forward just until blood pressure starts leveling off. And then when you're ready, bringing your hands into prayer, looking forward and enjoying this gentle heart opener and hip opener. And then taking your last cycle of breath here. Dropping the hands, slowly taking the bum up, walking the feet back into downward dog. This time, taking the feet together, zipping the feet together. Lift the right leg high to the sky and send the right knee through to the hands, coming into swan. Set your left knee down, but keep the left toes tucked under. And then from here, you'll kind of adjust what feels good in the quads. So if you need a gentle stretch in the quads, walk the knee back. If you need to be a little more gentle, bring the knee forward. Once you get your left foot grounded, then decide if you want a deeper stretch in the hips by bringing the right knee more parallel, keeping the right knee in. And then you can use props. I think I'm going to use a bolster. Fold over my bolster. And we'll be here, oh my goodness, we'll be here for 8 minutes. So first, let's start off nice and high. Taking a nice few cycles of breath. Then take a nice full inhale. Slowly fold forward on your exhale. Knowing that we'll be here for 8 minutes. Stay with it. I'll cue you when we're about halfway through. Stay with your breath. All right, you're at about the halfway point. All right, stay with this last minute. You're getting into the deeper tissue, so stay with it. Keep your last cycle of breath here. Carefully draw yourself up as you inhale. Or take a cycle of breath, just nice and tall. In your swan pose, tuck under the left toes and send your right leg up into a three-legged downward dog. Bend the right knee, open up the right hip. And then find yourself in a downward dog again. Maybe the feet are wide, maybe they're not. And we'll be here for 10 full cycles of breath again. So if you want to return back to the strong exhales, you can. Five more breaths. Take your last cycle of breath here. Walk your feet together. And then send your left leg high. Knee through the hand, setting yourself up for swan. So gently let your right knee drop. Keep the right toes tucked under and decide how deep of a stretch you want in your right quad. And then decide how deep of a stretch you want in your left glute by moving the left shin more parallel to the top of the mat. All right, palms are underneath the shoulders, knowing that we'll be coming into a sleeping swan for 8 minutes. But for now, you're standing up nice and tall, just feeling a nice connection, a nice heart opening. And then maintain the same opening as you slowly start folding forward into a sleeping swan pose, knowing we'll be here for the next 8 minutes. So stay with your breath. you're nearing the halfway point, stay with your breath. And if your mind isn't shutting off yet, just acknowledge the thought and send it on its way. All right, you're in this final minute. Stay with me. Okay, take your last cycle of breath. Place the palms underneath the shoulders. Slowly bring yourself back up nice and tall. Tuck under the right toes, lift the right knee, send the left leg high to the sky, and bend the left knee, opening up the hip. And then place the left foot down. So you're in your downward dog. Stay here for just 3 big cycles of breath. 2 more. Last breath. Full inhale. Walk the feet to the back of the hands as you exhale. Return back into your dangle pose. And then drop the bum onto the ground. So now you're seated. Great. Okay. Next is cow face. So we did a lot of internal rotation and and external rotation in the beginning. So now we're just gonna balance it off. So with cow face, start off in fire log or square pose where the left leg will be on the bottom and the right leg will be on top. You can stay here, or if you want to go a little deeper, start bringing the left heel to the right glute and the right knee on top. And just for starters, let's just hold the ankle. So the left hand is holding the right ankle, the right hand is holding the left ankle. Sitting up nice and tall. Taking 3 cycles of breath. Great. And then you can stay here, or you can return into fire log, or you can stay in fire log and come into cow face, either one. But this is where you're going to commit for the next 5 minutes. And then bring the left hand behind you, have it reach for the small of your back, and then take your fingertips to reach towards your shoulder blades. And then the right arm will reach over the right shoulder or the left fingertip. And you can always use your strap. Or any strap. You can use towel too. All you need to focus on is keeping the right elbow high, the left elbow low, and not doing anything to hyper flex the spine. All right, friends, we are here for 5 minutes. Oh, and I'll let you know if it's halfway in case you want to add a fold forward, or you can do the fold now. All right, nearing the halfway point, you can stay seated. Or you can fold forward. But wherever you're at, just give yourself this nice assessment. Make sure that you're not leaning too far to one side or the other. Shoulders aren't scrunching up towards the ears. You're entering your last minute here, so see if you can elongate the breath. Alright, slowly take your last cycle of breath here. If you folded forward, draw yourself up. Release your hands, place them to the side, let the fingertips touch the ground. And take the left ear to left shoulder, right ear to right shoulder. Go back and forth just a little bit. And then slowly switch sides. So lay your right leg down, shin parallel to the top of your mat. And decide what's a comfortable distance from the pubic bone, and then set your left leg on top. Stay here for 3 cycles of breath. And decide if you'll stay here or if you want to bring the right glute the right heel to left glute and stack the left knee on top. But no matter where you decided, take a hold of the right ankle in the left hand, left ankle in the right hand. Sitting up nice and tall. And then reach the right arm behind you. Palms reach towards the shoulder or the scapula. And then bring the left arm behind. Coming into cow face on. Using a strap if you need to. And then wherever you're at, really direct your right elbow down, left elbow up. Coming up nice and tall. See if you can maintain a straight spine. Move the chins up a little. All right, let's begin. I'll give you a halfway point if you want to fold forward halfway, or you can fold forward now. All right, you are nearing the halfway. You're nearing in your last minute. Take a nice full inhale in. Exhale. If you folded, slowly bring yourself up. Release your arms down to the side. Let the fingertips touch the earth. And then slowly unwind the feet, the legs, set them flat, hug the knees into the chest. And when you're ready, lower down one vertebra at a time. And then hug the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the shins, and gently rock from side to side. Bringing the arms out to a T, allow the knees to fall over to the right side. The right hand can be on the left knee. Take the gaze out over the left hand. Drop back into the breath. See if you can still continue getting big with the inhale. And then take your final cycle of breath. Bring the knees back in and allow them to fall over to the left side. Placing the left hand on the right knee, take the gaze out over the right fingertips. And then as you inhale, bring the knees back in, maybe give them a gentle squeeze. And then extend one leg long, followed by the other, setting yourself up for your Shavasana. You can take a full body stretch. Bring the arms down to the side. Knowing that I am minding the time, and I will always call you back. All right, Yogi. If you want, you can end your practice with me, or you can stay in Shavasana. But wherever you are, if you want to end with me, take a nice full inhale in. Sigh out your exhale. Slowly make your way onto your right side, knowing you'll be here for a few cycles of breath. Use your left palm to slowly push yourself up, coming into a seated pose. Bring the palms together, hands into heart center, and give yourself a soft bow. I honor this place inside of me in which the entire universe dwells. It is a place of tranquility, it is a place of compassion, and it is a place of peace. And when I'm in this place in me and you're in this place in you, together we are one. Namaste.